Hey everybody, it's your girl Nell. Welcome to the Tiny Studio. This is a Dreadlock love video, baby. You know what time it is. It's the time that we begin to talk about all things locks. And you know what? I have filmed this introduction maybe about 4 different times. I'm not going to lie to you, maybe about 4 different times. And the reason is because once you get out of practice of doing something, you have to get back onto the bike sickle and relearn what you already knew. And that is what's going on with me. It's been a while since I've been here in a tiny studio filming because my husband has been ill and I have been taking care of him, and I've had to put a lot of different things on the in the back seat for a little bit, and that includes my filming here in the tiny studio. So now I'm trying to get back into it, and oh my goodness, it's really something else trying to get back to doing something that you love when you have been on a break or hiatus. But this is a Dreadlock love video, baby, and the time is to begin to talk about dreads. Now, there's a question that I have been asked by one of you, the viewers and subscribers here in the Tiny Studio, and I've seen this question a lot on social media, and the answers that has popped up in the comment sections in different Facebook Dreadlock groups, the answers to this question have, given me goosebumps, because the advice is so bad. But but let me just say something here before I get into this video. What I want to let you know is that any advice or suggestions that you receive from me today, take it with a grain of salt. I have been a Dreadlock diva, Loch Queen, for 20 years this fall. And a lot of my advice is based on what I have gone through personally and what I have learned along the way from locticians who have been in this, who have been on this journey for a long time, like myself. And so they are seasoned at this. So any advice or suggestions that I give, I'm giving it from that place. But as with anything, please know that it is your crown. So you have to ultimately do what's best for you and your crown. Okay? I'm glad I said that and got that out the way. All right, so the question is, how often should you shampoo when you're just starting on this lock journey? Now, the answer that I am going to give you is going to sound non-traditional and maybe shocking for some. Are you ready for the answer? The answer is you need to wait for 6 to 8 weeks before you begin to shampoo your new locks. Now, you may be shocked. Nell is crazy. She want me to wait 6 to 8 weeks before I wash my hair. That sounds like some bull. Beep. Yes. That's okay. I understand where you're coming from, because I had that same feeling, that same, belief. I felt that I needed to wash my hair at least once a month. Why not? I mean, doesn't your hair sweat? And I'm doing, I'm involved in a lot of activities. I have a 9-to-5 job. I have children that I take to, back and forth to school. I have all these activities. I love doing things. I'm very active. 6 to 8 weeks before I wash my hair? What kind of nonsense is that? But here's the reasoning behind it. You want to give your locks a chance to begin to become disciplined. You want your locks to begin to lock, to begin to dread, to begin to nap or curl or tangle around itself. You want your locks to begin to do their thing. And the best way for you to do so is to give them that space. Give them that time. And that time period is 6 to 8 weeks. And if you can hold out past 6 weeks to 8 weeks, that would be wonderful. Because the thing is that you don't want your locks to unravel soon. Now they're already going to become loose, yes, but you don't want them to completely unravel on you. And that's why a lot of seasoned locticians will tell you 6 to 8 weeks. Now, you may say, well, I'm an active person. I go to the gym. I'm like you, Nell. I have a job, a career. I'm out here in the elements all the time. When I'm in the gym, my hair sweats. As I said before, I'm in the elements. So there are a lot of things that's in the air. And I want to just make sure that my hair remains clean. Right? Is that what you're thinking? Of course you are. And there is nothing wrong with that. However, what we are going to have to begin to do is we're going to have to let go a lot of things and the thinking and philosophies that we inherited before our dreadlock birthday. So a lot of the practices that we use to maintain our hair, we're going to have to rethink those practices. And we're going to have to begin something new on this journey. So, whereas when I was a natural locked diva, I would wash my hair every time I got in the shower. Because I would have a Caesar or I would have a teeny tiny fro. So it didn't matter how often I washed my hair. Or when I was taking breaks from relaxers and I had medium length hair, I would wash my hair every 4 weeks. I would go to make an appointment at my salon and get my hair done every 4 weeks. When I wore a relaxer, it was every 4 to 6 weeks. But with locks, you don't have to do that. You can wash your hair as a newbie after 8 weeks. Now, you may have an active lifestyle. You may work out, right? And you sweat. And you may say, oh, well, I need to wash my hair because I sweat. No. Sweat is good. Who said sweat was bad? Sweat's a good thing. Sweat is going to help you or help your locks really begin to tangle. You want sweat. We want sweat. We want sweat. You want sweat. Sweat is not a bad thing. All right? Sweat is a good thing. It's a natural occurrence on our bodies, right? So go ahead and sweat. That's not going to damage your locks. That's not going to do anything bad to them. And you may say, well, if my locks sweat, then there's an odor, right? Well, the only reason that once you sweat and your locks begin to have an odor, The only reason that could be is based on whatever lock gels or waxes was being used to install your starter locks. It can also be a situation where you're sweating because of maybe the shampoos that you may have or may have been used on your hair when your locks were started. That may give off an odor, but that doesn't mean that your hair is dirty or that your locks are dirty. So we have to let go of certain things that we inherited in maintaining our hair. As a newbie, not washing for 6 to 8 weeks is a fantastic thing, because what can you do to keep your hair clean? What can you do to keep your hair in a position where it will begin to lock in those 6 to 8 weeks? Well, there are things that you can wear, such as beautiful head wraps and scarves. You can wear tams. I have some sitting back there. There are many things that you can do that will keep your hair in place, keep it looking good, and you can still continue to do the things that you need to do in your everyday life and the things that you want to do while you're waiting those 6 to 8 weeks to begin to make sure that your locks are doing this thing, which is locking. And the thing is, we don't want to interfere with what our locks are doing during that beginning stage. And after those 6 to 8 weeks, if you went to a loctician, you can go back and then they will begin to wash your hair and whatever processes they use at that at your salon to cleanse your locks and then to retwist them. Then you can go through that process. If you started your locks yourself at home like I did, after those 6 to 8 weeks are up, you can go ahead and wash your hair and you go about your business. Retwist if that's what you want to do, and if you're a free former, let it go. But the main idea is you want to get the ball to rolling, and the best way to do so is by keeping your hands what? Keep your hands out your head. That is the most honest thing that I could possibly say to you. You want to keep your hands out of your head for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So wear a tam while you're at the gym. Sweat is good. Sweat is not bad. Sweat is wonderful. And I ought to know because I'm at that age where I'm sweating all the time. So sweat is good. Sweat is helpful to the whole locking process, right? So you might have to begin to invest in some tams or invest in some scarves or watch some videos that shows you how to use different wrappings, head wraps. You might have to do that, and just for 2 months. But if you feel the need to, that you absolutely must wash your hair, then what I would suggest is getting a stocking. You know, those old, those pantyhose. I think they still make them. Get some old pantyhose, stockings, cut them, put it over your head and over your locks, and then go ahead and use a natural soap or a natural shampoo and shampoo your hair and then rinse. But you want to lightly shampoo and then rinse and dry. That's it. But that's if you absolutely have to wash your locks. But my advice is don't do it for another 6 to 8 weeks. And by the time those 6 to 8 weeks are up, you will be absolutely glad that you did hold off from washing your locks. I think the most important part of this journey is unlearning some of the things that was ingrained in us, some of the techniques that we have inherited from our mother, from our mothers and fathers and aunts and uncles. Just unlearning all of that. Unlearning that and relearning how to love and maintain our natural locks. And guess what? You can do it. I mean, 6 to 8 weeks, they will fly by, and you'll be so happy that you listened to Nell, or that you took Nell's advice and just waited. Just waited a little bit, because you will see that your locks are beginning to grow. They are beginning to tangle onto themselves. They are beginning to become these cute little tiny shrimps. They are beginning to become adorable. But you have to leave them alone. You have to keep your what? Keep your hands out of your head. So, I hope I was able to successfully answer that question for you. That question came straight from the Tiny Studio viewer right in the comment section. And if you too have a question that you would like for me, Nell, to answer, go ahead and drop down in the comment section and leave your question. Or if you're following me over at Nell's Tiny Studio on Instagram, go ahead and leave that question there, and I will most definitely or possibly read your question to the rest of the guests here in the Tiny Studio, and we can discuss it. So, speaking of discussing, what do you think about what I just said? What are your thoughts on that? You know, some of the comments that I've read in other Facebook groups with or Dreadlock groups on Facebook and other areas of social media, when this question pops up, you know, the answers make me cringe, because they say things like, use sea breeze astringent and a piece of cotton, and you can clean your scalp that way. Why would you use some sea breeze on your scalp to clean it? No, don't do that, because all that is going to do is what? Dry out your scalp. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just wait 6 to 8 weeks. Just tie your hair up. Just wear a tam until you can safely wash your locks. Give your locks a chance. Give your locks a chance to develop. Give your locks a chance to curl into itself. Give your locks a chance. Another commenter said in response to that question is to use some dry shampoo. No, don't do that. Don't do that. There has been studies that have shown that using dry shampoo can cause certain cancers. So don't use it. Don't use dry shampoo, and don't add chemicals to your locks. Keep your locks as natural as possible, because when you start adding things like dry shampoos and facial cleansers to your locks, yes, when your hair sweats, yes, you will have an odor. That is not our goal. Our goal is to have healthy, sweet smelling hair. Healthy, strong locks. That's our goal. Our goal is not to walk around with hair that smells like a rag. Right? Right. So no, do not use any sea breeze facial cleanser or astringent on your locks, on your scalp. Don't do that. Don't use any dry shampoo. Don't do that either. Wear a tam or a nice wrap. And let's stop being afraid of sweat. Sweat is good. It is. Sweat is good. So, as I said before, with any pieces of advice or suggestions that you may receive as you begin this journey, you have to remember that this is your crown, and you have to ultimately do what's best for you. But if you're asking now, hold off on the washing of your locks for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So thank you so much for hanging out here in the Tiny Studio. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do so now, and do not forget to like this video, because when you like the video, you allow my channel and the Tiny Studio to be seen by the YouTube gods on their algorithm. But most importantly, when you like and subscribe to the channel, you'll know or be notified each time I pop into the Tiny Studio to talk about all things dreadlocks, to talk about some crocheting, and to talk about my love of vintage Coach. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Oh, and by the way, I don't want you to forget this, but you can keep up with me and what I'm doing in the Tiny Studio, or my thoughts of the day, over at the Simply Nails Tiny Studio community page. And there I have some, just go and check it out, okay? Just go and check it out. All right then, so I will talk to you next time here in the Tiny Studio, and hopefully I won't be gone on a long extended break like I have, or like I did this time. Like I said, my husband is ill and I'm the caregiver, and I'm going to have to try to get my schedule together. But the most important thing for me right now is to take care of my husband and make sure that he's good, and to make sure that our children are good too. So I will talk to you next time here in the Tiny Studio. Thank you. I'll check you out later. Bye-bye.